Om Dattatreya Namaha. 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 Jaya Sadguru Data. Namo Dattatreya Bhagava. Jaya Sadguru Data. Namo Dattatreya Bhagava. Namo Dattatreya Bhagava.
Another pilgrim asked, I've got a family. Can family members receive liberation? And if they can, how? Maharshi, what is a family? Whose family is this? If you find the answer to these questions, the rest will collapse by themselves. Tell me, are you in the family, or is the family in you? The visitor didn't answer. Sri Bhagavan continued, who are you? You include three aspects of life, namely the state of wakefulness, dreaming and dreamless sleep. You are unaware of the family and its bonds during your dreamless sleep. And so these questions do not arise. But now you are aware of the family and its hardships, and so you seek liberation. But in everything that happens, you remain the same person. The concepts of a family, genus, nation, race, and belonging to the class of some beings makes sense only in a relative dimension for people not looking for liberation. These concepts take a completely different meaning for a sadhu who seeks liberation. They are of value only if they contribute to liberation, and if they do not contribute, they have no value and are even hindrances, obstacles, one of the pasha, ties. When we become a sannyasi, we reject the social, cultural pattern because it is necessary to serve Maya, serve matter, continue the energy of Prakriti, reproduction, serve one's ego, maintain well-being, and satisfy sensual desires. In general, to create such a worldly mandala. If it is a family of karma sannyasi, it supports the path of liberation, the path of practice, then it's okay. This is a good mandala for karma sannyasi. For sannyasi, the principle of the family is being replaced by the principle of the kula or sangha, a spiritual family with no family ties, and there are completely different relationships. Relations with each other are built not on the basis of sensual attachments, but based on trust, common creed, a common lie of succession, the four infinite states, the spirit of samaya, cooperation, and assistance to each other on the path of liberation. This type is called Kula Sangha. Those included in it, Samaya brothers and sisters, are called Guru Bhaya, the disciples of one Guru, following the same line of succession. These completely different connections and relationships contribute to liberation in a relative dimension. In the absolute view, we consider it a purely illusory concept, not possessing the nature of self-existence or having no connection to the Absolute. The mind, without support, must learn to be self-sufficient, strong, relying on its own awareness. Therefore, the sadhu does not look for support in the family as such. The sadhu serves the family, the sadhu serves the sangha. He sees it as the mandala of the divine will for spreading the dharma. Sadhu has a support in the higher things, in the view, in the tree of refugee. In the absolute sense, we've got a monastic sangha, a spiritual family kula, but it doesn't have that worldly shade of egoism, sensual pleasures, attachments, and support that are connected with the material karmic ties. And such a family is also called the tree of refugee. There is also a principle in Sanatana Dharma which called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one divine family. In this sense, we consider all living beings, regardless of gender, race, nation, culture, religion, confession, as our spiritual brothers and sisters, as our relatives. Since they are all living beings, they all have Atman. They all have one nature. They all have one common path, despite delusions and misunderstandings. To expand our selfish understanding of a family to the universal family, Kula, the Tantric Kula, Sangha, to the entire tree of refugee, hated by saints and deities, this is our understanding of this notion. The seeker. Since now I feel like in the family, it will be right that I should seek liberation. Maharshi. You're right. But think and say, are you in the family or is the family in you? Another visitor posted, what is a family? Maharshi, exactly. This needs to be known. The seeker, I have a wife and my children. They depend on me. This is the family. Maharshi, do family members bind your mind, or do you attach yourself to them? Do they come and tell you, we are your family, be with us? Or do you consider them as your family and yourself as attached to it? The seeker, I consider them as my family and feel attached to them. Maharshi, exactly. Since you think that this woman is your wife and these children are your children, you also think that you're attached to them. Some people were born on earth, received a body. One person met a person of the opposite gender. They started dating and having sexual relations. After pregnancy, a child came out of the woman's body. Attachments arose between them. Stable emotional karmic ties appeared. They started living together. All this seems to be ordinary, important, material. In fact, this is all illusory, empty, based on arbitrary assumptions, on following the common culture, on following the mass consciousness, on following instincts, habits, on following parents, parental authority, on following social patterns, clichés and stereotypes. They, without hesitation, accepted these patterns, clichés and stereotypes, the opinion of their parents. Without hesitation, they took the emerging emotional and physical connections for granted. Because it is accepted in the society, it's really just a belief system, a certainty of prejustice. That type of family that exists now is a certain pattern of our time. Other patterns existed. For example, there is a polyandry in Tibet, one woman, several men. There are many men, few women. That was in the Middle Ages. There were other options, one man, many women. In tribal relations, still in some tribes, there are some common husbands, children and wives in one tribe. Somehow it's like that. This is one of the options, just one of the templates. But when a person believes in it, it becomes a tie, pasha, which is called kula, that thing which ties a soul with the ropes of some identities. The spiritual family, kula or sangha, is a phenomenon of another world, a non-human phenomenon. This is the effect of Anugraha Shakti, the blessing, and we respect such a spiritual family, appreciate it as a mandala and the third jewel. This phenomenon is not of this world. It is not based on karma, nor on sensual attachments, nor on selfishness. It is based on the idea of serving God and accepting samaya, on accepting devotion to one line of succession. This relationship must be highly respected. Therefore, we say that there is a sangha as a third jewel, there is a samaya, relations of samaya, and they are very important. Relations of samaya, this means that we see all family members purely. Even if there are some kind of dissensions, quarrels that rise from time to time, we do not allow them to take root, we quickly dissolve them. And we respect everything that happens in the family, everyone who takes part in it, ethics, structure, principles, foundations, because the goal, where it leads to, and what is being practiced in it, is beyond our human understanding and even our given incarnation, our egoism. This is the manifestation of divine energy, Anugraha Shakti. This is the third jewel. In the Pancharatna Pranama mantra, we read Om Sangam Sharanam Prapadyam. When the samayas are being kept, when there is a harmony in the relationships inside of the Sangha, meditation goes on unhindered. Communication is blissful, and the deities in the channel are awakened simply by the keeping of such a spirit. The blissful communication which awakens deities in the channels, the pure spirit of Samaya which is strengthening over the years, that is the spiritual family, the Sangha. It is indeed the third jewel that has to be cherished. But to realize this potential, everyone must make an effort, a certain tapas, to get rid of selfishness, to control emotions, to pacify pride. Then it's possible. Then the purity will win, Samaya will overcome karma.